Statistics show that 80% of individuals will never achieve the financial freedom they desire. We see this play out constantly with lottery winners. Studies repeatedly demonstrate that regardless of the jackpot size, the vast majority eventually lose their winnings and return to their original financial state. Compare that to self-made billionaires. When they lose everything in a bankruptcy, they reliably make their fortunes back within a few short years. Humans operate on an internal regulator. Think of it as a financial thermostat. A billionaire's thermostat is permanently set to billions. If they drop below that temperature, the system kicks in to heat things back up. Your current bank account balance is not a measure of your luck or your intelligence. It is the direct result of a subconscious set point actively pulling you back into your historical comfort zone. Society insists that wealth is built by mastering outer laws. We are taught to focus on financial literacy, real estate algorithms, stock portfolios, and complex spreadsheets. But the physical realm, the actual numbers sitting in your bank account, is merely a printout generated by invisible mental software. Look at how underlying software code generates a physical printout like a bank statement. If you find a typo on the printed page, taking an eraser to the paper accomplishes nothing. The error will keep reprinting until you alter the code that created it. Until you locate and rewrite this internal money blueprint, your subconscious will actively and continually sabotage your financial success. There is a specific, linear formula that dictates how human beings create reality and generate wealth. This flowchart maps the mechanical sequence of manifestation. Thoughts lead to feelings. Feelings lead to actions. Actions lead to results. But a hidden root variable initiates this chain. Past conditioning dictates the thoughts bubbling up in your mind. We call this programming. Every financial action taken today is the downstream result of software programmed into you during childhood. The first method of programming is verbal conditioning. As children, we absorb phrases like, "money doesn't grow on trees," "rich people are greedy," or "we can't afford it." Those statements lodge into the subconscious as absolute truths. Even seemingly responsible phrases carry hidden dangers. Take the advice to save for a rainy day. By focusing your intention on a rainy day, the law of intention ensures you will eventually experience a financial storm. The second method is modeling. Children operate on a monkey see, monkey do basis. We unconsciously adopt our parents' extreme hoarding behaviors or replicate their stressful boom and bust cycles. This modeling often results from historical trauma. Parents who lived through the Great Depression hardwired intense financial survival habits into the next generation. What you perceive as your own logical, calculated financial choices are often unconscious reenactments of your parents' trauma or direct rebellions against it. The third method of programming is specific incidents. High-emotion events link money to distinct emotional states. Consider the case of a woman who, as a young girl, watched her parents engage in a violent argument over money. During the fight, her father suffered a fatal heart attack. Her brain permanently linked the concept of money with profound pain. As an adult, she subconsciously spent every dime she earned. Her mind was executing a survival mechanism to rid herself of that pain. This scale illustrates the brutal reality of the human brain's decision-making hierarchy. When forced to choose between logic and a deeply rooted emotion, like fear or the need for a parent's approval, emotion will almost always win. Financial self-sabotage is rarely a lack of discipline. It is usually your brain successfully executing an emotional survival protocol. This means a lack of money is never actually a problem. It is strictly a symptom of what is happening underneath the surface. To systemically overwrite a toxic money blueprint, you must walk through 4 specific elements of change. Step 1 is awareness, identifying the hidden programming running in the background. Step 2 is understanding, recognizing that this code originated from external sources and does not define who you are. Step 3 is disassociation, severing your identity from the learned behavior. And step 4 is reconditioning, where you physically install new mental files. Your current financial ceiling is not a measure of your potential. It is merely outdated code that can be patched, recompiled, and rewritten. If your drive for success is rooted in negative emotions like fear, anger, or the need to prove yourself, the money you acquire will never bring you peace. You cannot solve an internal emotional wound with external cash. The ultimate goal is to sever the link between financial motivation and fear and intentionally relink it to purpose, joy, and contribution. True financial freedom doesn't begin in a stock portfolio or a spreadsheet. It begins the moment you open the hood of your own mind and choose to rewrite your blueprint.